I'm
This
calling,
October 2nd.
oh, this is the 17th. Yeah. So I'm calling the Deutschen Pfest committee meeting for Tuesday, October 17th at 6:39 p.m. To order. Citizens communication. The committee welcomes comment on items related to Deutschen Pfest. Public comment that is made on an item that is not on the published agenda will only be heard by the committee. No formal action, discussion, deliberation, or comment will be made. Each person providing public comment will be limited to 3 minutes and will be asked to state his or her name and address for the public record. 3A, Deutsch, or I guess, yeah, no one's here. So 3A, discuss and consider actions to approve minutes from the Deutschen Pfest Steering Committee meeting on October 2nd, 2023.
It's not up to date.
I'll make a motion to approve the minutes as produced.
I'll second it.
All right, all in favor of approving the minutes, say aye.
Say
Aye.
All right, the minutes are approved. All right, 4A, discussion regarding Deutschen Fest status update.
Okay, so I'm gonna pull up. So we had a meeting today with the city manager's office and all of those support staff that I mentioned. And so I'm gonna go through the different parts of the festival just to give you kind of a full rundown. At any point, if you have any questions, please speak up and let me know. Some metrics. Right now, we are doing pretty well. Staff volunteers, we have 128 out of 130. We have 62 out of 96 citizen volunteers. As you can see, that is a little bit lower than we would like it to be. What we're going to do is we're going to start turning those into staff volunteer positions. And that way we can start filling some of those. The good news is none of them are vital roles. They are things such as parking lot attendants, etc. And so those are spots that we can easily fill. There is still time if people want to volunteer to send them our way so that we can get them plugged in. We want to try and get as many of those filled with citizen volunteers as we can. Ticket sales, so
Hold up. Last time I asked that a link be sent out about the volunteer, because I've got some people that want to do it and I wasn't quite sure where to send them.
Gotcha. I will make sure and send that over to you.
Jonathan, can I also get that link?
Yeah,
send it
absolutely.
out to the
I'll
whole
send it out
group.
to everyone.
And do we talk about, I think we talked about last time that like some of the positions, they could be like high school age?
Yes, so if it's anyone who is 16 and up, they can volunteer on their own. If they're 15 and under, they can still volunteer, but their parent needs to volunteer with them. We've actually had 3 volunteer time slots filled by a parent and someone who is 15. And so they've actually partnered up and filled 3 of those sessions together. So
And the volunteers get wristbands?
yes,
Okay.
I
And-
would shoot that out to like the 4 high schools. They all have Interact clubs, which is a service organization. And well, just seniors in general too are looking to get volunteer points.
yeah, absolutely. I'll make a note of that
Did you
too.
send that to the administration?
Probably the counselor or
Probably, yeah, or maybe even the principal.
the principal, yeah.
The principal would be too busy and might miss the
Inundated.
email.
Inundated.
Do the
Yeah,
the
that's why I was-
counselor
Well, I was thinking more about administrative.
or
Yeah.
or the
The administrative
admin.
assistant
Yeah.
or, yeah.
Okay, so ticket sales as of the same day, so the Tuesday before Deutschen Fest last year, we had 118 ticket sales. This year we are at 228.
Wow.
Our communications department really helped us out. They did a big sale this weekend. They contacted everyone who had bought tickets last year and offered them a discounted price to purchase tickets again this year. So over the weekend, that went from like 130 people to 228 people. So we're moving good on that. We're going to keep pushing hard to try and continue to get people to sign up for it. Shirt sales, we're also doing pretty good. Right now, we're at 158 shirts sold. At this point last year, we had sold 130 shirts. So a little bit ahead on that. I'll cover some more of the race metrics here in a little bit. We're ahead on race participants as well, which is good news. So even though there's been, as we all know, there's been a lot of trials and tribulations to get to this point with Formula One and all that being the same weekend, so far it's building up to be another great Deutschen Pfest for us.
So it sounds like we're coming out of COVID.
Yes,
Does
yeah.
that put a damper on?
People are going to something. It's all a matter of what they're going to on this weekend. So.
Hey, Jonathan, the 2022 numbers, is that including like day of sales, like when people were just kind of walking up to the festival and stuff?
No, so this is just numbers comparing to Tuesday of
Advanced.
2022.
Gotcha.
Yeah, so these are just the advanced tickets. So this doesn't count any of those day of ones.
This is great. Last year, we were going against a UT football home game and, wasn't F1, but the ACL.
ACL.
Yeah.
We won't have ACL go against this year, so.
Yeah, that makes a big difference.
Is Worst
That's
Fest
more
happening this
competition.
weekend too, or
No.
That happens in November.
in November?
That's right.
That was close.
So on the logistics end, there's a lot of slides in here. So like I said, I'm going to go through them. But if you have any questions or want me to stop and talk about something, raise your hand, yell at me, throw something at me, throw it at Bays maybe. So parking, ADA, will be at Gillen Creek. The Murati, which is the ADA version of Uber, they also know to drop people who need ADA accommodations here. Excuse me. Those patrons will then be shuttled via golf cart into the festival at that low water crossing, but we will also have our city bus shuttling as well. So if anyone needs to be shuttled, we will have those options available for them at Gillen Creek.
Can I ask a question about that parking lot? So since one of the stages is right there and like on that far, like the north part of the parking lot, that driveway goes out behind.
Oh, this one?
Yeah, will the bands be able to go back there?
We'll get there, we're
Yeah.
gonna talk
Is
about
that-
that.
Yeah,
You
this
are,
this
okay,
satellite
okay,
image
good.
is not
Yeah.
100%
It's
representative of the
not your
current
thing, that's not.
state.
Well, no, I just had somebody ask
It's
me
The
that.
answer's yes.
accessible, yeah.
Somebody asked me that, so.
Yeah. Yeah, we'll talk about that. That's good.
So Typhoon, Texas, we have the contract signed, sealed and delivered with them. We have one charter bus. We were only able to get two total charter buses. The company that we're contracting through could only provide two. So we'll have one running to Typhoon. It's a little hard to see, but they already have a message board. If you've driven down Dassau Road, there's already a message board up saying, hey, Deutschen Pfest parking here. On Friday, Saturday, this will be a one entry here. So you will only be able to enter at this main entrance. At this end, there will be an entrance and an exit. So this is the only exit for it. So you can enter on this side, and then you will exit straight out onto the frontage road. We'll have some either cones or barricades right there at the front with a sign saying Deutschen Pfest parking only. We do have volunteers signed up for this parking lot. And so there will be people manning the admissions booth. For all of the parking lots, we're going to have QR codes created with essentially a sign saying something along the lines of, while you're waiting, spend this 20 minutes purchasing your ticket ahead of time. So that hopefully that'll help cut down the line at the front gate.
And Friday night, we will have the Oompas playing there too.
Cool,
Yeah.
that
Just
works.
got that one done.
We put that in the contract that there would potentially be bands at those locations. And so just get with us so we can set up if they need anything at that shuttle bus stop. First United Methodist Church, their contract is signed. It's not quite sealed and delivered yet, but we are probably a day away from having that done. This will be where our other charter bus is running to. So this, I forgot to mention, Typhoon has 681 total spaces. First United Methodist Church, they have another church that they rent out to on Saturdays. So you can see this red line right here. These 25, 30 spots are off limits to us. That will be for the other group only. But that leaves us about 204 spaces. This mouse is not working very well. 204 spaces back here. PD has asked for the entrance to be on this side. So people will turn in. Man, this mouse is awful. They will turn in, go along this pathway, park, and then on their way out, they will exit here. And if they're the charter bus, they're going to turn right and head right back to Pfluger. If not, they'll turn right and then they can make their way into the rest of Pflugerville from there.
And you would have imagined they would have made the entrance the opposite way because they're not intersecting with each other?
That's how I first created it, but because that's the direction the shuttle bus will be going, they want all traffic flowing that one direction rather than having to switch it for a period of time. So there's no head-to-head directions there.
And that church that meets on Saturday is the SDA, it's a Spanish-speaking church, and they are incredibly helpful.
That's awesome.
Oh, my goodness.
Where's that at?
First United Methodist.
This is right next to
500
the
East,
Mocan
500
Railroad
East,
area.
You know where the
Old
So
Gin
where the
Food
cotton-
Court.
cotton
the
gin-
food truck area?
This is my church, I'm telling him. It's 500 steps from the,
Okay, thank you.
yeah. It's between downtown.
So do we have
and
more
Cotton Gin.
parking
It's the Cotton Gin.
spaces than last year, or like the same, or?
We do not. We have a little less, so we also have Finnig Park.
Okay,
Because obviously we were only able to get 2 charter buses, this one will actually be serviced by city bus.
okay.
So if it can't be serviced by the city bus, we have 3 15-passenger vans. We will get city volunteers to drive those. And so city staff will function as the transport with that. It's hard to say exactly because this is a drawing on Canva. Until you actually get out there and paint it, we won't know exactly how many spaces, but around.
so parking in the grass.
Yeah, so we'll
Yeah,
also be
okay.
parking in the grass as well as the lot. It's a little hard to see, but it's turning in to the right and then turning out to the right. And then this gives you about 257 spaces. In total, it is 1,000, if this is 257 spaces, it's 1,147 total parking spots. The field alone has over 1,300 spots. So we're still short of that amount. And we're using 3 lots compared to 1. So
We couldn't get the field because of the game?
no, there was a contractual issue that prevented us from getting
Don't mess up the soccer field.
it. Yeah,
Yeah,
and
that's-
and we'll have the other thing too is there will be probably a rope along some T-post right here so no one drives right onto those soccer fields.
You know,
So.
future Deutschen Fest is, what this looks like to me, all these parking spots is just another place to put a band.
We're down.
Yeah.
We're down. If
Yeah.
I will say this, if we had known that we were going to be doing this many parking lots when we
Yep.
first started this process, this whole piece of it would have looked much different in the planning process.
Well, Flame came from First United Methodist. That's
Yeah.
where they originated, so all I'd have to talk to is Clark. He said, yeah, we'll just play in the back.
Yeah,
Just play in
the
back.
tough part is finding this out that was not going to be an option so close to the event.
Yeah.
Means in reality, it means that we're scrambling a little bit to try and get the number of spaces that we need. But staff has worked very, very hard to try and make that happen. We're not quite to the 1,300 that we would like to have, but we are making the best lemonade out of the lemons we've been given that you've ever had. So
What was the attendance last year?
total, it was a little over 6,000. I don't remember what the exact number was.
Because I've been telling people it was
We
20.
talked to, or Caitlin had said that she had spoken to the Lions Club about using their parking lot.
Yes, so the Lions Club, it's not in the presentation, but the Lions Club will be for staff and volunteer parking.
Okay.
So,
Just took my next question, where should we park?
yeah, so we have a contract signed with the Lions Club, so when y'all are coming, when any of the staff or any of the volunteers are coming for their shift, you can park at the Lions Club. It's obviously not a huge parking lot, so if it is full, we're asking for volunteers and staff to park at Finnick Park. So if Lions Club is full when you get there, that's okay. Head to Finnick Park, park there. And then
I'm walking.
yeah, you can either walk. It's about a mile.
I know one's
They're
gonna
from
need
my
a
house.
car ride.
Yeah.
I'm walking from my house.
Yeah, it's about a mile, depending on how quickly or slowly you walk, about 20 minutes. It's obviously better to do that during the day than at night because there aren't any lights on that part of the trail. So we do imagine there will be some people during the day, especially on Saturday, who walk that down to Deutschen Pfest.
Jonathan, real quick. So, but we have actually worked with our rental people to get some like light tower generator towers to light that section as much as we can without
Of
flooding
the trail.
the houses that also people that live there. We don't want to be shining those lights in their backyard, but to give some illumination from that trail for nighttime access between Pfluger and Finnick. if
And
people
I'm gonna
choose
be
to.
parking in a tiny lot off of City Park Road.
Do it.
Back there on Park Access.
Along with my 3 open spots for the bands, because I'll have all the checks in my trunk.
Yeah,
Yeah.
that will be.
So if anybody wants to take over entertainment, you get a special parking spot, just saying.
What time will the buses start running?
They will start, so on Friday, they will start right, actually, let me get back to you on that. I don't remember what times are in the contract for that. I'll check on it and I'll let you know.
Okay, thanks.
You're welcome. Our bus drivers, we can have them here at whatever time we want them here, so. So the bus drop-off and pickup, we know that this was an issue a little bit last year with the Fetch-A-Ride drop-off. There were, the cars that were dropping off for Uber were trying to go all the way to the gate. So this year we've changed that up a little bit. This part has remained the same, so the bus will still drop off in front of Juan's house almost, so.
I'm up near the arrow.
Yeah, and then they will walk from here down to the festival or vice versa. Another issue that came up last year is that there were some people who were lounging in front yards right here. Is probably the best way to say it. This time we are going to have them queue along this sidewalk here. So people will come up and then the bus will make this left turn, they'll get on, and then it will head back out. So they will queue along this parking lot instead of in these people's front yards.
One thing to just to reiterate, like in front of my house where you take that corner to the left, they really need to stop that traffic up earlier, because what was happening a lot is they would try to get all the way to kind of that little boulevard up there.
Gotcha.
So, because they did that last year, they just posted up right in front of my house, and that stopped them from kind of whenever it was like, oh, vendors, okay, go to Park Access, right? To kind of make them take that left turn a little earlier, because if not, they were kind of backing up.
Gotcha.
Yeah.
I appreciate the heads up on that.
Yeah.
So the other part of this is the Fetch-A-Ride. So this is the rideshare consultant that we use. So the drop-off location will be right here on Parkview Drive. This will be right where our barricades are at to close off this street. It's actually, there's a street that turns to the right. I can't remember what it's called, Park something. That will actually be where the barricade is at. But this is the area where they will request the fetch a ride. If it is an Uber, Lyft, rideshare, this person at the barricade will let them drop off here, and then that car will continue on out and go pick up its next rider. There's a $10 voucher for fetch a ride. The location, the geofence that's set up is on this pathway right here. So if they're in this pathway, it will show them that $10 voucher. This does not affect the normal monthly rides. And so any rides used in this are not free, but not counting against your normal rides. We have it set to go until 3 a.m. Just to give everyone plenty of time if they want to continue to hang out and fellowship in other parts of the city. So that voucher will end at 3 a.m. on Saturday.
Where's this at?
So this is Parkview, which is so right here is the is Pfluger. This is the kind of the low water crossing.
Porcalo,
Oh, it's on the other side.
Yeah.
Oh, gotcha.
Yeah, the
Gotcha.
map is super zoomed in, so I know
Right.
there's not a lot of landmarks here.
No,
Railroad is roughly right over here somewhere.
that makes sense.
So meals, we will have staff meals. There will be 2 RVs, one for PD only, and then one for staff to go in and to chill out for a while if they need to. We will have snacks and drinks as well. The layout. Baze, do you mind covering the layout for us?
Yeah, sure. All right, so this hasn't changed much, if at all, from when we last met and showed y'all this. I don't think. This just has a little more details on this one as far as the kids area, kind of just showing you exactly where it's all set up. The stage is just going to be just off image to your left there in the corner. And then, so if you work up from there, we'll have the kids area, we'll have a little picnic area there. And then that top row of blue is actually going to be your food trucks along the actual sidewalk there. Then coming down, you have the blue row of food vendors. So these will all be like tent-based vendors there on that edge. You'll have, then basically you have your yellow, green, and orange sections. That's your actual like vendors, your craft vendors, just like regular vendors. The pink section down here is going to be all your city/sponsor booth tent areas. So you got all those. Then right down here on the far kind of right side, you have another little tail of some food vendors there also. So we'll have the same tent, like picnic area, if you will, on the basketball court, as we normally do. Right here at the bottom of this blue section is where we'll have the Friends of Paws, so that'll be one beer booth there. Rotary will have their main booth in the Grove where they normally are, and then they'll also have another Rotary second beer booth will be down here in the pink sponsor/city booth section.
So there's no beer in that sidewalk that's going to where 2 of the
Yes,
stages are?
Rotary specifically requested they did not want to be there, so we then moved them over into the beer booth, the sponsored city section.
We're getting them as close to where we had, where those blue ones are at. We're getting them as close as we can and still making it work, so.
I mean, but why do they get to say instead of us trying to make it convenient for the festival goers?
Because then they won't be a vendor.
What they're holding.
It was a compromise this year. Again, that's kind of another one of us picking it up late in the game. You know, it's all kind of comes down to that when the whole thing started. So yeah, just working to try to appease all the parties. So
So I mean, can Friends of Paws not be down that? Down that
I mean-
road?
No, they can't
Yeah.
because they've already submitted their information to TABC on where their booth is gonna be located. And their booth number, and because of that, if you move location,
You have to start all over.
got to start all over again, and they've already applied for their application. It's what we're working with this year. We're
Yeah.
trying to,
Yeah.
make everybody
So,
happy and
well,
do
I
the
mean,
best
the
we can.
rocks.
Like
Don't like change.
for next year, if the nonprofits aren't gonna go where we need them to be, I think that's gonna be something we need to change. Next
sure.
year, we need to allow more drink vendors then.
For
Yeah.
sure. And we'll have, obviously, to the same token, we'll have a lot more
Big
lead time
preference to the
with
ones
Rotary and with those vendors for where they want to be and working around that and work, being able to explain more of our kind of layout theory to them as well is kind of, this year we're just trying to get her across the finish line and work with everybody that we have involved. So,
Yeah, I think what Baze said about expectations is the most important part. Coming in after things have been communicated and where people are going to be, and then having to change things is always difficult. And so I think next year when we're starting out from the very beginning and we're able to give all vendors a better idea of where they're actually going to be, I think that will help us out a lot too in getting buy-in.
I mean, well, none of the beer vendors were promised any place on the map except, the Rotary, the big Rotary, which is always in the picnic area.
Yeah, the problem is that in most years the beer vendors are in the same location. That
Right,
they
but this,
normally
we
are.
have more, we're more spread out this year.
Yeah.
yeah. So, just like I said, it's just something we're trying to work with all the parties and get it across the finish line for this year. Definitely something we can look at for next year. Absolutely. So entertainment as far as carnival rides, this is our final kind of carnival ride layout. Their labels are really hard to read. They're very small up there. But you basically will have 4 actual carnival rides. Those are kind of the middle to right. Then you'll have 2 big inflatables there, kind of in the left and bottom left side there. And then your 7th one is going to be the trackless train. That blue line is kind of the proposed layout we sent to the vendor to kind of have them use that back trail, kind of because it has a cool tree canopy coming through there on that trail. Then they'll make a little loop and head right back behind the volleyball court there and head back to where they started. Of course, that trail is closed if you were to expand this picture out farther towards park access out to the west. That trail is actually barricaded there, so there will be no incoming pedestrian foot traffic. And then of course,
That's
just
just
in the park there, you'll
my
have
house.
you'll have the picnic area and the food trucks and everything on that sidewalk there too. So not looking at really any pedestrian traffic there. And then so the vendor is requiring waivers, everyone to do of each rider / participant to do a waiver, and then they will do wristbands. They're handling that, so they have staff that are monitoring these rides. So their staff will be handling all that. It's how they do all their big events, whether it's big corporate events or UT football games or any of that. That's how they roll. So if you get that wristband once, then you're good to go. You don't have to worry about a waiver after that. Same thing carries from Friday to Saturday in the same way. So if you come both days, you take care of your waiver Friday. You keep your wristband on, you're good to go for Saturday.
Was I remembering a different number for carnival rides? Or has it always been 4?
So I think it was more at the very beginning.
Okay.
At some point there was it 2 or 3 cut down?
It was originally 10.
I think
I remember number 10, yeah.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, no, I think you're right.
Okay.
So
Yeah.
now we have 7 in total, which was more. Yeah.
Well, again, COVID had an impact on that too.
Yeah, this is the max amount that the
Based on the
vendor
space.
could give us.
Oh,
Yeah.
okay, gotcha.
Because of where we moved the stage to this year, we actually had more space for more rides if we wanted them. However, this is what we could get from the vendor, and so
Makes sense.
yeah. Hopefully next year we'll be able to, if we're looking to increase it, we'll be able to get some more. So
Is one of those the Ferris wheel?
yeah. So the
Yes.
Ferris wheel is on the literally
Kind
in the
of middle.
I've been
senior
making
one,
promises,
right in
guys.
the middle.
Yeah.
You're
That's
wanting to
good.
ride the Ferris wheel with your kids, aren't you?
I've been making. No, I want to put my wife on it so she can scream and make them turn it off.
Yeah, it's 6
Ulterior
feet tall,
motives.
right? It's just one little circle.
Yeah.
No,
She made. It's not the first time she's made it turn off.
that one I think is 20.
Cheap entertainment.
Yeah, I think it's 25.
25.
So roughly a 25-foot tall one.
Very cool. It's just
It's
an attention
embarrassing
grabber,
to
you know
ask.
what I mean?
Yeah,
Like,
for sure. For sure.
Yeah,
And that's kind of why we tried to put it, if you're in the park, which would be kind of on the right side of this image,
Yeah.
that's going to be your main when you look out there. That kind of be
Okay,
the
so
first thing you see.
both Miriam and I have a very important question. Both of us have this question. What's a trackless train?
I don't have an
How
image
does that
that can
work?
really show it now, but
Yeah, you know,
Yeah.
they're like
Last year.
they're like
Okay, wait,
barrels.
one at a time.
They're like barrels, and they cut a hole in them, and the little kids ride them. It's just like
Little kiddie
it looks.
train.
They
So
show
how are
up a
they-
lot in
how are they-
Fourth
It's
how
like
are
a
they-
lawnmower that's pulling.
Yeah.
them,
There's
essentially.
somebody's driving it.
So somebody's driving it.
Yeah.
Okay,
Yeah.
gotcha. Okay.
yeah,
You've
I
probably
have it
seen
here.
them before in like 4th of July parades a lot. So
at the mall. Sometimes
Okay.
they used to have it at the mall. Yeah.
Yeah.
We do that in the kids area when the kids area was
That's
out
what I
by
was
the
thinking, that we've had that before.
it's a lawnmower
Yeah,
with a
okay.
bunch of wagons.
Yeah, exactly.
Stages, as we've talked about. Here's all your stage locations, same as it has been. Main, gazebo, and pavilion. Then a little bit of zoom in there on your right-hand side is going to be a main stage with the green room behind. Then your blue lines represent some temporary fencing that we'll have up coming off each side of the stage with banners, which I think we'll get to in a minute, that we use to kind of not only advertise our sponsors and give people some photo ops, but be able to hide some of the traffic of bands loading in and out from the stage and everything, kind of the hustle and bustle going on back there, to make it look a little prettier from the front, from the lawn side. So,
And we'll talk about it a little bit more here in a bit. But hopefully that also funnels that sound.
That's what I was gonna ask.
out.
Has that been resolved yet?
Yeah, we hope that those banners will help. It obviously won't solve the sound issue, but we'll talk a little bit more about that here in a minute.
Then we get to a little bit more parking. So vendor parking will be in park access, but outside the main kind of park access gate there, if you will. And then band parking will be on your right-hand side, the kind of yellow-orange squares there. It's like general band parking area. And then you have both the darker and lighter blue colored rectangles there, are just the RVs that Jonathan mentioned earlier that we'll have for PD and staff. Though may not be the exact location, they may most likely will be moved a little farther down to the left, but general location there for the parking. The community fair for Sunday and the fun run. So right now we have 170 adult runners signed up for the run, and then 14 kiddos for the kids run. And then currently we have 32 vendors signed up to be vendors on Sunday morning for the community fair. And then in addition to that, for the kids zone, we have the maze we talked about, the 5 bounce houses, and then a game area. And this is kind of your layout there on the left side of what those will be. So the main square there is going to be your vendor spots. That's obviously more than 32, so it'll look maybe a little different day of, but that's we'll keep the same general layout for that. And then you'll have the maze, kind of that right side of the layout there is your maze, your bounce houses, and your game area.
Can I make a correction? Just 2 inflatables and then multiple game stations.
Okay,
Gotcha.
cool. Awesome.
Yeah, and Timmy and his staff have done a great job. Those are all kind of Halloween themed.
Yeah, there's a haunted house inflatable, jack-o'-lantern jumper inflatable, and then some Halloween inspired games and activities.
Kids would love that.
Yeah,
Yeah.
tis
Yeah.
the season. So,
Absolutely.
also just a quick note on this too. We put these vendors in this location in this diamond shape, as if placing a stone in a river. So as people come and go from the parking lot, both the top and the bottom point towards the start and the finish line and the parking lot. So when you walk back to your car, you have to walk around the vendors in the middle. So,
This is what the malls do too.
yep.
They
It
make
was
you shop.
strategic placing. So,
Smart,
Great
smart.
planning.
All right, that takes us to the race route, which we've gone over before. But this is just another high level. Again, pathway only, no roads. So we'll start there at Finnig and take the pathway down, heading west past Windermere Park, and then is it Grand Avenue?
yeah,
Yeah.
Grand Avenue.
And then we'll have the turn right there before Grand Avenue, back past Windermere, and we'll finish. So it's just an out and back on the same trail, no loop or anything, which logistically makes things easier. And then we'll have water stations located there at Windermere Park as well for people on their way out and back. So they'll be able to hit that if they need a drink on the way. So.
Just to let you know, the park staff has gone, they've ridden down the trail on their gators and machines and made sure that there's not gonna be any limbs that are reaching out and grabbing people while they're running, so.
That's good.
I saw them out there.
Yeah.
I was doing some me and some friends were doing some trail cleanup out there. They did a great job getting all the brush and everything
That's awesome.
out of the
I'll
way.
pass that
And
on.
we went and cleaned up all the mud and stuff and swept it. Trail looks great right now. So
That's
I'm
awesome.
excited about that.
I will pass that on. Junior and his crew have done a great job. They fixed the area you had mentioned, ended up having to re-pour part of it, so
Thrilled about that.
they've been
Junior
working very, very
rocks.
hard.
Junior
That was
rocks.
awesome.
He does.
I've worked with him even with the bands for years.
Yeah,
rocks.
he is
He and Eddie.
he's a hero for us.
Yes, he is.
Absolutely.
Very much so.
Awesome.
All right. Cool.
So we'll flip back over to the other PowerPoint now. Oh, hold on.
That's an,
Oh, I have a dialogue box open.
that's an E above middle C, by the way.
Pardon?
That's an E above middle C.
Okie dokie.
I marked it.
Hold on a second. Five. There we go. Oh, hold on. I skipped. My fault.
And we're done.
Okay.
I'm waiting for Amy to.
Now I'm in the right spot.
All right, so 4B, discussion regarding committee update.
So vendors, Miriam, if you'd like to go first.
I mean, we've got almost all the vendors in place. The Sunday vendors, like, that square was more vendors than we had. So, we have most of them kind of in place. That square's probably just gonna compress a little bit. There were two potential, not issues, but the JLU, the ice, what is it?
Italian
like the
ice,
Italian
yeah.
ice, whatever. They're a van, not a
Not
tent.
not a tent.
Yeah. And then We Are Blood, the person who filled out the application is not with them anymore. And so I don't know that they knew about it or are ready to be there on Sunday, so they may not be able to do it.
So we may drop down to 31 vendors.
Yeah,
at that
I just have them kind of in the corner as a question mark. I put them in a spot that wouldn't be bad if it was
If they weren't there.
vacant.
I will say too, Miriam caught the Italian ice vendor. Our solution to that will be to just put them in the parking lot facing the park. And that way people can still come up and partake in that. But they will have to face into the park, not into the parking lot, so that kids are not queuing up in the space where cars
Yeah.
are gonna be.
Is this for Sunday?
For
Yes.
Sunday.
Okay. Like,
Yeah. They applied for the community fair as well, so. Fun run and community fair.
Well, like I said, the course is set, it's looking good, all cleaned up, and I love all the brush back they did, and now just the repairs they did on the course. It looks great. I had the crew go out there, and there was like a lot of mud in places. We scraped up all the mud, swept it off, and this course looks fantastic. So I'm actually planning on taking me and my wife are planning on going out Thursday at 10 o'clock in the morning, just to kind of sweep it, go over. It looks great now. I just want to make sure there's no trash, no other gunk on the trail, so we're gonna do that Thursday morning. At 10 o'clock, we're gonna start at Fanning Park at the starting line. where the race is at, then just work our way up the trail and back. And like I said, just pretty much touching up with brooms and picking up whatever trash. There's not gonna be much. There really wasn't much to pick up. Before, if anybody wants to come help out, 10 o'clock at Penning Park, Thursday. If you don't want to, that's fine. It should be a piece of cake. I mean, we don't need any help. If you want to come help, you're more than welcome to. Appreciate that. So, getting volunteers for the race. I noticed on the website, it's only allowing, I think I sent you an email about this, it's only allowing 4 people to sign up for the race. And I was hoping we can get that changed to 10, because I think we're gonna need at least 10 people on the course. Well, I know we're gonna need at least 10 people on the course to manage it, where the turns are at and the water stop. So if we can get that changed to 10, I've got people that are willing to sign up. I just don't want anybody to sign up yet till I get the number 10. I didn't want to scare anybody else off like it's already full.
Yeah.
So if we can get that number changed to 10, I've got some people that are willing to fill those slots for race day on Sunday. Okay, the Kids K, you said we're gonna do that, a little bit before the actual race? So what time are we thinking that's gonna happen?
I figured that we could do that one. So we have Orange Theory who's sponsoring, and they're going to do the warm-up stretch.
Okay.
So I think they're down for 9:45 to 10, and so we could do the kids 1K at 10. In the past, how long is that the kids 1K taken?
It doesn't take that long, maybe like 10 minutes. Something.
Yeah.
So it shouldn't take
So I would say just as soon as the 1K part of the course is cleared, we'll line everybody up and have them start on the 5K part of it.
Okay, we're just gonna go out the same course, out 500 meters and 500 back.
Yes, yeah. Also, I forgot to mention this too, PD will have 2 bike officers, and we will have both of our bike park rangers there. And so they can help out. One, it adds a cool feel to it, but then they'll also be able to help out in being the turnaround for the kids. So run to the guys in the uniforms on bikes.
That's a good idea. Okay. Also, who's going to be starting? Like you said, is Patrick Hite going to be doing that again this year?
Yes.
I'm going to go write down just a few instructions I would like for him to announce at the start of the race. Just like, people, it's an open course. So something like be respectful, people still using the trail, keep right and all that neat stuff, and have a good time. But just have people be aware of what's going on, because it is a 10-foot wide trail. You're going to have people at some point, people coming and going in the same directions, and keep right and all that stuff. So I'm going to write that and I'll send that to you.
Yeah, as soon as you get that written up, send it over, and then we'll pass it on to him.
I had it written out already, I just forgot to bring it with me again. So, and I believe that's all I had to say. We're ready to go and excited about the race. So
Awesome. Gates and volunteers.
No major updates.
We're almost there.
Ramping up.
Just a heads up for you, we will have golf cart with staff on it. So if at any point you have volunteers who need water or anything like that, luckily looks like the weather's going to be great for us this year. But if anyone needs
hot.
anything,
Yep.
let us know.
It's hot. Why is
Yeah, I
it gonna be
figured-
20 degrees hotter
I
than it
figured
was
just
last
making
week?
sure the volunteers are hydrated and have whatever they need.
Yeah, we'll provide you a radio too, so that you'll be able to radio, keep in communication with Gates as well.
Perfect.
Entertainment.
Go for it. Let me tell you what you got on the main stage.
Main stage 10 to 10:45 was Clickety Cloggers. They canceled today. They don't have
That's
enough.
for Saturday.
My wife is going to be
I know.
devastated.
I
I
am
was
in
gonna say,
Clickety
Chris is
Cloggers
not
is
gonna
made
know
up
what to do.
of older, mostly women, and
They
so
don't have enough
unless they are
members that are
teaching
well
the younger
enough
to
to
do
do it.
this, it's not gonna keep going. So that's just something we want to keep in mind.
Unfortunately, it is that time of year where flu and all that, colds and COVID and all that's going around. So
I think it was a broken hip getting out of a tubing.
Oh.
They were tubing.
At least you rock on.
Yeah.
Tubing. I want to go floating on the river with her.
So in talking about that, do y'all want to just any ideas on what to do in that space?
You said that was 10 to 10:45 on Saturday?
Yep,
Okay.
main stage.
She's ready over there. She's gonna call her people.
Juan and I can do it, we can do it.
I was gonna say.
Karaoke?
No,
Get
no,
Oh,
Chris
okay,
up there to, Chris can
Let's
dance.
just have,
Oh,
let's have an
So,
open,
playing on my stage.
let's have an open mic. Just let people get up there and tell jokes.
Melissa said no.
She said, she put the veto on it? Okay.
So we got a whole $150 to play with.
What were we paying them?
$150.
Okay, yeah, I'll take it. Okay, so,
Just make sure whenever for entertainment, whenever y'all decide, let us know so we can reach out and get the contract stuff done for them. Because we'll have to
We
get
don't have much time.
their checks processed as quickly.
well, I can get you somebody on stage at 10 o'clock for $150 and I get the contract signed too.
Okay,
That's not
yeah,
a
the
problem.
big part will be, we won't be able to have their check on site for them, so we'll have to
Not
get
a
it
problem.
taken care of a different way.
Not a problem.
Maybe send it to them afterwards, so.
Did y'all get my email about, what's that guy's name? The cop who played last year, not Colton, it's Ken Dalton maybe, is that his name? I sent you an email, he played in the gazebo, and he's with PPD, an individual, he's real good. Look back on your, because it says, on my side, it says, sent 8 days ago, want to follow up, or something like that. So, he was probably $200, but for 45 minutes. But no, I do have another guy that would probably play. We'll talk.
Yeah, just send it over to us so we know what we're looking at. We know
Yeah.
whatever y'all decide.
Yeah, of course. Okay.
What
Yeah.
else for entertainment?
I think that's all I had.
So you've got all your contracts.
Oh, no, I don't have any of my contracts, but is that,
So
do
have
I
y'all-
need to have the contracts? Will somebody from staff have
Have-
Yeah,
contracts?
so-
Y'all have all the
So-
contract for the
Yeah,
main
so I'll put the
stage?
packets together in like a folder with their contract and their check. And so I'll have all
And
that
the
for y'all.
wristbands.
Yeah, and the wristbands.
Actually, okay, I just sent out an email to all of my bands saying, when you get there, call me and we'll run the wristbands out to you. Because at this point in time, I don't know exactly how many wristbands, I mean, I know I've emailed you, but I've got numbers of how many wristbands each band, and that's usually what I would do. But if you'd rather have in the packet, we'll just run the packet out to
Yeah,
them.
and I can also just give you more than what you think it could be.
No,
And then that
no,
way,
I have 50 from last year.
yeah,
in my
then that way we
building
don't
right
have
now.
the exact count all the time.
I would say, let's just leave them in the packet. It's a
Yeah,
lot,
I agree.
a lot
I'm
less
fine with
easy
that.
for them to accidentally get
And I don't
lost
have to
and,
tear them apart.
yeah, with so many moving pieces, I would worry that would happen.
I'm fine with that. So,
Stage plot,
sorry?
stage plot. Is that right?
Okay, so stage plot, I apologize to Kelly because I was so used to doing that, getting stage plots, I assumed that Caitlin had gotten stage plots already. Have you guys seen any stage plots for any of your main stage bands? Okay, so
Nope.
that,
I'm gonna have to ask, what is a stage plot?
so a
Like
stage
their
plot is
layout,
literally,
their
this is for the
needs.
sound guy,
Oh,
this is for the
gotcha.
tech guys. And it literally, I sent back an example, for, I can't remember which band it was, but it literally is a static screen that looks like it shows, here's where all the drums, here's where the equipment, this is what sound needs, this is the microphone, literally, so any sound guy can look down and go, okay, I need a plug over there and I need to pull this microphone. And so all the main stage bands should have plots. And the ones that are playing, I'm not familiar with the bands that are playing, but I would think that they're well enough established where that's something they have got. If you guys have not, I don't mind reaching out to all those bands and saying, hey, we need your stage plot, send it to this guy, where the tech guy's name is. I can't remember his name,
Yeah, it'd be Richard this year.
yeah. I don't mind doing that, but I don't want to, but
Yeah, I can do it.
yeah.
I just,
Because I think
You've
a
got an
sit-
email from me that's a
Yeah.
template on what to ask for, but I'd rather them send it to you. So you'll
Yeah,
be
and I
that
think I
contact.
sent y'all Richard's email.
Yes.
You can also just have them reach directly out to Richard if you would rather do that.
You
That's
can,
fine with him.
except you lose.
He doesn't really
lose-
care either
You
way.
lose control over that, and then you have no idea if he's got it day of.
You should.
Yeah.
I
So
can
if
send
you-
you the email that I usually send for Music in the Park. I'll be
Yeah.
like, here's the rundown of everything that's going on. Here's how to get in. Here's how to get out. Loop Richard in. Be like, please send it to Richard. He's on this email.
Yeah.
And that way, it's just easy for you to be involved in the process and just see it.
I'm gonna ixnay that. If you tell any band, just send it to them.
Yeah. Especially the
No,
ones.
send in
yeah.
the chain, in it,
Just
and they
CC
always
everybody.
just reply back. I've never had any
Say
problems with
reply all.
bands.
Good,
Yeah.
good luck.
And the
I
ones
just-
that
that
really
day
care,
of, that's the
we'll
last
make
thing
sure
they-
they
yeah.
get it done. So they'll.
And what's the timeline? When would he meet?
Now,
Now,
He
yeah,
doesn't know.
now.
yeah. Yeah, if it were me doing main stage, I would be calling those bands. Because each one of them has some type of stage manager that has that plot on their phone and say, oh yeah, I can send it to you right now.
Okay.
Just to get it. That's the one thing you don't want to come up against on the day of and go, where do we put all this stuff? Didn't you send us our stuff? Ah, we forgot. So anyway.
Okay.
Shoo, I've got the Oompas. Yeah, so they're not going to be playing on site, which is just fine. They are going to be playing, since the schools are, we were going to have them at Pflugerville High School, but now that Typhoon, Texas is going to be their shuttle bus, I called David Smith, the lead, tonight, and I said, so you could play on site for a couple of hours with all the other German music and all the other German stuff that's going on and just kind of be, lost in all the German stuff. Or you could play at Typhoon, Texas, which is a highly regarded entertainment spot here in town that nobody knows about you. And he said, I'll take it. And if you want to double, triple my play, we'll play all night on all day. I said, no. You're $800 for 2 hours. We're not going there. He was real excited.
That's awesome.
So
yeah.
when are they playing?
They're going to be playing Friday night, 6 to 8 p.m., and that was their time already. They already have a gig on Saturday, so I couldn't get him. In fact, he was on his way to a gig when I called him tonight, so he was real excited about that.
Do they need anything?
Power.
Powers?
They do need power and they do need lighting. With Typhoon, Texas, they did not want a flatbed trailer. I was mistaken on that because we'd done that in the past, but he said, no, we don't need a flatbed.
That's good because we don't have one.
Well,
So-
and set up at Pflugerville High School was literally in
Yeah.
the front of the school with nightlight,
Yeah.
on, and so Typhoon, Texas is open at nighttime, so
Yeah.
they'll be happy about that.
Yeah.
We'll get with Typhoon though to make sure we have
Everything,
Parking lot
yeah.
power source for them.
Okay, appreciate that.
If all else fails, our parks crew has a super quiet generator, one of those Honda super quiets.
Well,
and, we can hook them up. So.
Yeah, I was gonna make sure there was a generator at the pavilion too, because I do not trust the pole.
We have a
electricity.
big rental diesel trailer generator for the pavilion.
Perfect,
Yeah.
okay.
Won't be fun.
Okay, and then at the green room, is there gonna be a tent on the green?
Yes, a 10
Okay,
by 20 behind the stage.
10 by 20, I thought there was, but thank you. Okay, and then Saturday night, 7 to 8, I've got 1 hour open, but the guy that I was gonna have maybe come in there, and I may have him shift to be on Clickety Clogger's time. So I may still end up with an hour Saturday night, 7 to 8 p.m., and I know that doesn't make you happy.
Well,
That means-
because then there's no music from 7 to 8 p.m. And that's like the big arrival time for the people coming for music.
Okay, so 7 to 8 Saturday
Is the
night.
Steinholding contest. I think.
No, not Saturday night. It's the pretzel competition.
Or
No.
the pretzels.
It's pretzel
still-
and
it's
then
not
departure.
music.
Departure starts at 8. So, yeah, that was just
It's kind of,
ran out. But that's on the pavilion side. Right before that time, Lone Star Dance will bring their 45 student dancers and they'll be dancing all over the pavilion. So if they can go longer, they will. And then the only other gap I've got is Friday, 5 to 5:30 at the pavilion. I'm not real worried about that because that's, it's Friday night. I think that's all the questions I've got. And I sent out an email to all the performers, a very long detailed email with the stage lineup, the layout map, the pavilion load-in map, the D-Fest Entertainment parking pass, and a poster as well. Your lovely poster, Gabby, has gone out, so thank you for that. So,
If you can't fill in another act in that spot, or like a new one, would you move somebody from one of the other stages to the main stage, or no?
no, if you've got that spot open, it's Saturday, 10 to 10:45, I've got an individual separate that I'd say you get $150 and that's all you get. but all you have to play for is 45 minutes. So before on your schedule, let me see the cloggers. Okay, so before was Austin Polka and then Rolling the Roost. So Austin Polka, literally, they need very little loadout time. They just,
Austin Polka is not playing. It's kind.
Austin Polka's not playing?
It's another
So what
dance
I,
troupe. It's kind.
so what I don't have is the main stage schedule. So I need that.
I don't have it either.
Why does she not have the main stage schedule?
We will make sure
Where-
and get it
where
out.
is
I've got
it?
it right here.
Yeah.
Send that to both of us, please.
Absolutely.
I'm sorry. I know you guys are frustrated too.
We're almost there.
We're almost there, I know. Well, I've got Kristen Gibbs playing on Saturday, and then I'm producing her on Sunday at my church. So if y'all get the film on Sunday, and I'm in the pew going, "Go, Kristen, go!"
Yeah.
She's a rock star because she's playing rock and roll on Saturday with her band, and then Sunday she's coming in playing classical music and Christian songs and all that. So, but yeah, if you can send me, because I'm working from an old copy on main stage. Because it would be nice to know exactly whose check I have and who's going to get.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Absolutely.
yeah, okay. I think that's it.
Awesome. So
And
we'll
just,
move.
I always have to ask, there's no more money in the budget, right? Okay, well, you know, you never know, it's just,
Go for it.
Oh, sorry. 4C, discussion regarding stage placement at Deutschen Pfest.
So this was asked to be put on here last time. So as a refresher, the reason why we made this move is at the time of planning, it was 10 total rides, but with the 7 total rides that we're going to currently have, we need it's called bumper to bumper. So this is essentially, if you lined them all up in one spot, they would cover 3,068 square feet, which would have impacted the stage location near the volleyball court. They would have essentially been cutting off the right half of the stage seating area. As well, we have more food vendors this year. We have more of every kind of vendor that we have. But specifically too, we have 17 food vendors, which is more than we've ever had. Due to fire codes and some issues that we ran into last year, those food vendors have to be strategically placed. There's already some health code requirements about them being having buffer zones in between them. And so it required us to put the food trucks on the actual pathway from that previous map. It's actually sitting on the trail behind the rides for the food trucks. A couple of other reasons why we had made the move was the sound map, to make sure that we weren't bouncing the sound off of food trucks and food tents right in front of it. So we angled it to get more of a glancing blow this year. And then the higher vendor level placement. So the Berlin vendors, which is the top package, what they were told when they purchased it was that they would be near the stage and near the entrance. That spot does not totally exist in Pfluger Park, and so we had to try and find the best place to split the difference and make a Goldilocks situation, which required us to put them in the corner right there. Let me see if I can use this mouse. So essentially the Berlin vendors are right here in this area running this way. So those are some of the reasons that caused us to make that change. Additional considerations, this layout actually doubles our seating capacity from, even if there weren't rides in the way, it doubles our seating capacity for people to sit. And then we have at stage marketing, so these blue ones, these are the temporary fencing that will have those banners on them. Once again, the hope is that that will help funnel some of that sound. We'll also have the stage itself has what's called wings. And so we will make sure that the wings are closed, which helps funnel that sound once again more out. And then we are trying, I can't promise that we will get it, but we are looking into some sound dampening cloth that we can put behind the stage to essentially create almost like a band shell. It won't be as big as a band shell, but we're looking to see if we can get some sound temp fencing to go behind the stage. The green room is also behind the stage as well, and so that curtain would essentially run right here in between the two of them. So this is a discussion item, so any discussion on stage placement?
Parking for the bands is gonna be immediately behind the stage, correct?
Yes, I believe y'all had talked about, I might be misquoting this, two vehicles, right?
For main
Yeah.
stage?
Yeah.
Yes, to sit
Well-
behind the stage while they're performing, but multiple can go back to help unload. But other than two other than two vehicles, they need to be moved out.
Yeah. So they can go back there, but then
I'm
once.
thinking about you parking behind the main stage.
No, it's all right.
You okay?
Yeah.
Okay. So how close is main stage to property line of the residents? About 40 feet?
So when we set it up for music in the park,
Yeah.
it was about 40 feet from the property line on each side.
Yeah, that's the picture I got from one of the residents.
Because of the green room, so music at the park does not have the green room, obviously.
Yeah,
So because of the green room, we are gonna have to move that stage forward. So this right here, this little dot blob, whatever you
Yeah.
wanna call it, that is the power. And so we will have to move the stage out to make sure there's enough space for the green room to fit in between it and the stage. I don't know exactly what that new distance is gonna be. I would say somewhere between, best guess, 40 and 60 feet,
so the generator will be sitting behind the green room. Is that what you're saying? Is that what the
No,
little
so there
block
won't
is?
be, that's an actual like power pedestal.
Okay.
Yeah,
Okay, so
it's-
not noise,
Yeah,
not
it comes
noise.
out of the ground
Right, right,
and
right.
is meant for stage placement.
So not noisy,
Yeah,
No generator.
yeah.
because the Arts Council's running that green room.
Yeah, it's literally they call it a pedestal.
Gotcha.
But it's not the kind that you think of like standing on. It's kind of like a pylon almost, so.
And you'll have a cooler with water and sodas for all three stages? Or just main stage? Crossing
Well,
my fingers, because
yeah,
this
well-
email went out today saying, yeah, we'll have water and soda available for you.
I mean, we will have those, but I mean, we're flexible if we want to put those closer to each stage or if we just want to
That
have
would-
them at the green room.
That'd be awesome if you could put them at all three stages.
Or if all else fails, if they need to ask a volunteer, hey, I need something, the volunteers can run grab it as well. If we can't put it there, or if we run out or something like that, they can ask a volunteer and they can run to the green room.
Yeah,
No.
I've got one guy running
waiters
the
and
green room,
waitresses.
one of my board members, Derek, he's a musician, and then James is the other, so Derek will be assisting you, and then James Batello will be assisting me on the other two stages, and then the lady that ran the green room a couple of years ago, Laura Luther, she and another guy want to come in and be yet another volunteer. That's when I said, I don't know where the link is for the volunteer stuff. So if they show up at the volunteer meeting tomorrow, they still have to sign up as a volunteer, period. If they're gonna volunteer for this event, they still have to go through.
Yeah,
Yeah,
the
okay.
most important part is that when they check in to volunteer, there'll be a waiver that they sign.
Gotcha.
And so that will be the most important part, which they will all have to come and check in. That's part of it.
Gotcha.
So,
So you guys are covered.
Yeah.
Got it. Okay. Understood. Okay.
And that's something that legal is requiring. So we will have to get everyone to sign it. So
Okay.
for volunteers, not for city staff. So
Okay, well, when this resident keeps communicating with me, I'm gonna go. Please talk to Jonathan.
yes,
Okay.
send them over to us.
Will do.
What are your thoughts on this setup? That gonna work?
Say it again?
That gonna work? Any thoughts? What's before us? That gonna work?
I can't get a bearing on how far away the stage is from everything else. Like, tell me from where it used to be, how far back is it moved away from where it used to be?
Let me.
Do you remember where the video game,
I think it's
the
about,
video game center was last year? It's essentially where they're at now.
I'm shaking my head no. I don't.
I think,
I don't even look at video games. I'm running. back and
distance
forth.
in feet, I think it's about 110 to 120. I think I did
Further
measure
away.
it one time.
Okay.
From, if you took of where it typically has been set up, kind of that volleyball court location,
Okay.
to where it is now, it's about 100, 120 feet difference.
All right, so any information you guys have got that she can put out in an email to her parties, they need to know everything in detail.
Gabby, you're gonna help me out with that, right?
Yeah, I don't have a good picture of it. These pictures are all kind of zoomed
Just
in,
barely too zoomed in.
but it's right about here is where the stage was. This is the
Yeah,
this
that
is the
is closer
pathway.
to the houses.
So
Yeah.
it's a lot closer to the houses.
I mean, wouldn't they rather have the carnival on that sign? Would that be better than the stage? Like, is that something we should talk about for next year? To switch the carnival and the stage?
It's a possibility.
we
Yeah.
looked at that as a possible option. The problem is that this area is better for the rides up here because it's more level and flat. This end has a slight slope to it, and is not quite as level. So that is an option that we looked at. But the reason we ended up with the stage on this side rather than the rides is because of the rides that we have, such as the Ferris wheel. We needed that flat level ground.
You didn't want to see the trackless train going,
Yeah, a trackless train, that'd probably
Down
be
the
fun. Ooh, but we didn't want to see the Ferris wheel roll off into the neighborhood, so.
she might want him to
Yeah.
see the Ferris wheel. She might have been screaming the whole time.
She would have made him stop it.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
Okay.
Yeah, and
I just have a feeling that after this event is over, we're gonna hear back from more than just this resident.
yeah, and
People
that's
that don't know.
that's totally fine. Send them over
Yeah.
to us. We want to hear that feedback. So,
This is the only one that has my number. Nobody else does.
because the other part that affects this too is the two power locations. One is here, and one is over here. So we have these two options. We could do a generator, but the reason we chose against that is because this area works better for the stage, and that one worked better for the rides that we have.
And it's not ideal to run the stage off of any kind of generator, just the power is a little different than your
Right.
typical mains for audio equipment. It is
Right.
preferable to run it off of actual like mains
Power.
and not a generator.
Yeah, no,
So,
I agree.
yeah.
Are you guys providing any food vouchers for any of the bands? Because I will get asked that question, and you will too. And
Yeah.
my answer has always been no.
No food, no beer.
Do what?
No food, no beer.
No food, no beer.
Yep. Somebody
Let's
tried to
have
put that in
let's
their
have the
contract. I
Rotary
don't
give
remember which
them
one of
free
it was.
beer.
Oh,
That's
last
it.
year, that
Service
was
is
your
down
It was
right
Isaac
where they're
Klaus.
playing.
Was
Later
it?
was a
Yeah, I
drink
saw it
beer.
in one of them. I just struck
Yeah.
through it. And
Yeah, he
when we
tried
got
several
outside.
times.
Who's that?
Isaac Klaus and the
Oh,
neighborhoods
okay.
Yeah.
Good try. Good try. Their money is good, just like everybody else's.
Yeah.
Okay.
Any other discussion on the stage location?
I'll say, let's try it out this year and see how much pushback we get from the residents' neighbors. And all this is still learning curve. We're still figuring out stuff out as we go along. So
I think the one silver lining is that the sound is going away from the residents instead of, where the stage was before. They were still getting a good amount. Whereas if you would put it on the other side, you get you're getting the sound directly into that residential area.
Yeah.
So.
Behind the stage, like when we had it, sorry, for music in the park, it's significantly
Right.
quieter behind the stage.
And I could just
Obviously,
say
it's-
that
yeah.
from my house, like you
Yeah.
didn't hear it when they put it for music in the park as much as
I don't,
where it
yeah,
was
I don't
before.
remember hearing it from
It's-
music in
you-
the park.
So let me
Yeah.
give you some perspective. The lady that we are protecting is 97 years old, and she's from Germany, so she's struggled through World War II, listening to bombs go off for 5 years. She will probably go into a PTSD form as soon as she hears the bass go off. So
I
that's
don't want any of that to happen.
bingo.
Oh,
You see what I'm
that's that.
saying? And she sits right next to me at church every Sunday morning. She sings with me in choir. And so, yeah, her son and her daughter-in-law, her daughter and son-in-law live next door to each other. And so they literally will back up, and she will never tell you. She will never be the one to tell you. It was the son. And it's the son who's a rock and roller who's played with a lot of my bands.
Yeah, I
You
know
see,
him.
I kind of got stuck in a position. Yeah. So if we can protect Miss Utah.
Well, you can maybe warn her, this is Deutschen Fest weekend, maybe, if you're,
Well, it's not
that
like she
affects
can
you, maybe
take
it's
up
a good
and-
weekend to
She can't
go on a trip
drive. It's,
somewhere.
well, I understand that all of that has been proffered. So,
Okay,
yeah,
good.
Yeah, and if, I will say this, if we can't get the sound dampening cloth this year, it is something that we are going to look at for next year, assuming that this stage location works well. So there are options, once again, getting things switched so close to the festival. If we had another couple months, this all would
Yeah,
have looked very
you guys
differently.
kinda got caught.
So.
Well,
But
she has a great sense of humor. I have tea with her on a regular basis, and I told her that I was gonna put something in her tea that was gonna completely knock her out that weekend, and she laughed. She said, okay. So, yep, okay. That said, roughly doubles seating.
Yes, ma'am.
Seating,
for if you're sitting and listening to the
so,
to the
because you're
music,
talking about ground seating.
Yeah, like the
Yeah.
square footage of the lawn.
So,
Proximity.
sorry to go backwards in time, but seating at the pavilion is fantastic. Seating at the gazebo sucks. There's
Yeah.
like one bleacher and that was it. And so we can put out 2 bleachers, that'd be better. Something.
we'll take a look at it. That would for this year we won't be able to do anything, but
Okay.
because we'll have to, we don't have any other bleachers, so we would have to purchase one.
Who has all the bleachers? Where are they? Are they gonna be at the main stage? Or do y'all not just, that's just not something that,
No, we just don't. We don't have any. So
talk to those school people.
yeah,
Talk to Verna Jean, give me some bleachers.
they do have some that you can purchase, so we'll take a look at that next year. Not saying we will purchase them or we won't, but there are vendors that sell bleachers that you can roll out there and then flip over to sit on. So
Soulshine wanted chairs, 15 chairs.
like plastic chairs.
Are we okay with that?
Yeah, we can. We'll talk
I
about
hadn't-
that after because we also had questions about the picnic table setup in or around the pavilion as well. So we'll definitely we'll chat about that after. We make sure we get all that.
Well, you need a motion for this, correct?
No, this is we're still in discuss.
Discuss only.
You're wanting to end the discussion, huh?
4D is discussion regarding volunteer meeting and on-site meeting schedule.
So we've already talked a little bit about this. Volunteer meeting was tonight. I'll get with, so Whitney ran that meeting because we have our Deutschen Pfest meeting tonight. I didn't get to say it earlier, but thank you all for your flexibility in being able to meet tonight versus yesterday. So I really appreciate that. The on-site meeting tomorrow, I wanted to throw out 6 o'clock as a possible discussion item. We can do it earlier. I know,
Hang on.
obviously we're Parks and Rec professionals. We can leave the office to go out there at any time. You all probably have places in which you work and may not be able to leave anytime during the day. So to get us out there with still plenty of light, I'm suggesting 6 o'clock, but it's a discuss item. So if anyone has times that work better or don't work better, let us know.
And then we have a meeting at 7 after that?
No, it will
Misunderstood.
just be this on,
That would be it.
yeah.
So we're going to meet at the park, like where?
Like
Parking lot.
Pfluger Park.
Yeah,
City
yeah.
Park-
Well,
parking lot.
At the
but
playground
where-
or the picnic table?
We would
Parking
all
lot.
meet where the entry is gonna be, which is,
So
that
we
little
need to all
hut
park
right
in a
there.
tiny little.
Yeah,
The green little house on
yeah.
Yeah.
The park is closed, so
Okay,
there won't,
good.
yeah,
As I say,
it
it's
got
totally
closed
right.
on Monday morning.
Got it.
So the park is closed, but we'll meet out there on site,
Okay.
and just kind of walk through everything.
Is dinner
I-
included? I'm just
Is who?
asking. Dinner included? I'm just asking.
It's a good
No
discussion
pizza.
item.
It is a good discussion.
I work from home and I'm right next to the place, so any time works for me. But, so
Yeah.
So we can come to your house.
The-
for dinner.
Yeah.
I'm not gonna cook for you, but you can go.
The earliest I can get there is like probably 5:30, so.
I'm not gonna be able to
Doesn't
make it
start
at
till
all.
6.
Okay.
I'm not gonna be
Yeah.
there tomorrow.
No, I'm saying if we wanted to move it
Oh,
forward.
got it.
I'm
does
down for
yeah.
whatever time
We
works
could
for
do
y'all.
whatever.
Once again, we're Parks and
Yeah.
Rec professionals.
I'm
We're
done at
gonna be
4.
here whatever time y'all say, so.
I'm a retired professional, so I can.
It does get dark earlier.
Yeah,
Yeah, I will
That's
say
what
6 o'clock. I think it's
That's
starting
the-
to get
that's
dark.
the latest,
Yeah.
yeah.
So,
Yeah,
Amy, I know you got work. So
Yeah.
the earliest 5:30. I don't want to push it for you. You know what I mean?
yeah,
If-
no, I'm trying to think if, I could probably, cause I leave work and pick up the kids, and as soon as I get home, I can head over, and that's usually, I guess the earliest I've gotten, 5, I think I can make 5 work now that I'm thinking about it, cause, yeah, I think a couple of times I've been able to get home by 5, so,
What if we meet in between, like 5:30? That way you're not
Yeah.
rushing.
yeah,
yeah,
push it.
yeah,
Yeah.
yeah, that's fine, that
So we
works.
change it from 6
Yeah.
to 5:30?
Yeah,
Yeah.
'Cause it gets dark, when it just, all of a sudden it's dark.
yeah.
Yeah, I think 5:30. We're gonna be
All those
pretty
trees.
yeah.
safe that there's gonna be light out there.
So we'll meet on site tomorrow then at 5:30, at the entry point right there where
Okay.
the gate will be. What is tomorrow? Thursday?
Wednesday.
Wednesday. There won't really be very much set up at that point. Most of the stuff is getting set up on Thursday, but we'll walk through, and just kind of take a look at the park. I don't think it'll be a super long meeting. And obviously if you can't make it, that's totally fine. But if you are able to make it, we'll walk through the park together, and kind of point out anything anyone sees, so.
Yeah, they should start setting up the carnival rides tomorrow, along with some of the like bigger event tents and things that will go up. Those are the main things that will really start looking like an event tomorrow. So
Yeah, I know the Grove tent is going up on Thursday morning, so it's starting to happen.
getting there.
So
Yep.
When does the stage go up?
Thursday, I'm pretty
Thursday,
sure.
yeah. There will be our police department will be staffing on Thursday night because some of that stuff will be set up. So there will be a police presence. Once again, the park is closed as of right now, and so there will be police officers in the park to make sure nobody's messing with anything. So
So you need me to come out on Thursday to tell you exactly
Cause
where to
trouble?
put the stage? Oh, so on Thursday stage goes up, so when does the green room get set up?
So that will be most likely Thursday, possibly early Friday morning, because it's the same company who's doing our like
All
big
the other-
tents. So it just depends. Sometime in there. So, but hopefully end of day Thursday. If not, it'll be first thing Friday morning.
And tables and benches are inside the green room, or will be.
The what?
Tables and benches inside
Yes.
the green room? Okay.
Yeah, we'll have tables and chairs in the green room as well.
Okay.
I don't know if we mentioned this earlier, but the vendor load in on Friday is from 9 a.m. to 1 p.m. So that'll be really when the bulk of the vendors are setting up at that point.
1:30 hard shut.
Yeah.
So if you're not in by 1:30,
I will not be
Sorry,
at the
you
park during
missed
that
it.
time. Stay away.
What's that?
Was 1:30
Shut it down.
Thursday?
Friday.
Friday.
They load in
Oh,
on
Friday.
Friday.
yeah,
1:30.
9 to 1 is the load-in time, but you got to be out by 1:30, and if you miss it, sorry. So
Wow.
Can we help with that?
There are volunteer positions set up for that. If y'all would like to be there to help, you absolutely can. The more hands, the better, but we do also have specifically volunteers signed up for that. Thanks. On to the last item.
All right, 5A, discuss and consider pretzel eating contest rules.
Okay, so I got to do some of the best research ever. Taking a step back, Rotary is sponsoring our pretzels for us. Last year, we did have a pretzel eating contest, but there were no pretzels to be sold at the event, which was a big ask that people wanted this year. So Rotary is stepping up and doing the pretzels for us. As a part of their sponsorship, they will be providing 750 pretzels for the eating contest. So remember 750, that is our number to meet within. The pretzels are about 5 inches by 5 inches until you take the first bite, and then it's about 4.5, and so on and so forth from there. They are delicious, I can confirm. So we have a couple different options. Last year, and kind of, I guess you can call it the current way that the contest has been done, is there are 3 minutes, 8 pretzels were estimated per kid, and then 20 pretzels per adult. So essentially you get 3 minutes to eat said pretzels, 2 minutes of you have to keep down the pretzels that you just ate. Whoever had the most pretzels at the end of that 5 minutes and didn't throw up is the winner.
Wow.
And then so on and so forth from there. The problem and the reason that we're talking about this at all is because anytime those pretzels are given to the person to eat, that pretzel can no longer be sold. So if someone
Touched it like the cookies
Yeah.
at your grandmother's house, you touched it.
Yes. Those are the requirements from Austin Public Health. So if we choose this option, we will be for sure assigning 20 pretzels per adult, even if those pretzels are not eaten. That obviously causes a lot of food waste. All of us are going to cry as we see those pretzels be tossed out because they've already been handled. So the second option that we have is that a timer starts. There is a set number of pretzels per kid and per adult, and it is the shortest time in which you eat those plus 2 minutes of still keeping it down. So it could be shorter than the 3 minutes. It could be longer than the 3 minutes. Some people may just give up. I'm not sure. Like I said, the pretzels are 5 by 5. They're very salty, very buttery. You're going to be very full, I would assume, eating 16 pretzels. So,
Can it be done?
I remember those.
Well, that's what, like, I'm thinking,
Yeah.
could we?
do we need to buy 16 pretzels and try it out tomorrow?
So the first option means that they're gonna get that many pretzels, but at the end of 3 minutes, it's over, it's just how many they can eat. The option number 2 means they're gonna get that many pretzels, and it's whoever can eat all those pretzels the fastest.
Yes.
So, I mean, if we wanna reduce food waste too, 8 of those for a kid
That's
is
a
a
lot.
lot.
Because
That's-
correct
Can
me
that
if I'm
be
wrong.
five?
Is that the
Yeah.
number that
Maybe.
we're using for last year's? Because last year's pretzels are much different than this year's
Yeah, those
pretzels.
are long, skinny ones.
Yeah, I mean they were running
Yeah.
through those.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Yeah.
can
This is
those,
a real
can it
big
be,
pretzel.
I
That's
would
what I mean.
say
Wow, eat that.
Yeah.
5 pretzels
Yeah,
per
8
kid.
of those, that's a ton.
This is why this is a discuss and consider
And
item.
maybe-
So I'm taking notes on all
I
of
mean-
this.
Couldn't we also like have someone who has the pretzels and as
That's what I was-
someone's eating a pretzel, they set another one down?
That's
so
what I was
that,
gonna ask. Is
so that
like
there's
Austin
no
Health's
pretzel
like-
waste?
Yeah, like, is there a rule saying that it's the person that like is eating the pretzel? Like, could there be like
A handler.
a handler That's individually giving each pretzel.
Yes,
And that way they're
the
not-
problem is that there are 15 people per competition round. And so the 1 or 2 food handlers are most likely not going to be able to keep up
Yeah.
as they
That's
eat
what I'm
those
thinking,
pretzels.
yeah.
Which is the reason why
it
they
can
are
get
having to
kinda
put them
crazy.
out ahead of time and say like, even if it's not the full 20 pretzels, I'm not saying they're gonna put all 20 pretzels out, but they're probably gonna do them probably 5 at a time. So if you get to pretzel 10, and that's as far as you get, you've technically used 15 pretzels at that
Right.
point, because they're going to have put your other 5 pretzels out.
Last year, we loaded up a whole plate, and not everybody ate their whole plate.
Right.
So,
Not even that
they were
close.
skinny guys, so they were just stacked all.
Yeah.
It just makes me
Wonky.
sick thinking of it.
Now, the other thing to mention here is by doing the 8 and 16, we can obviously change any of these numbers that y'all want to. That gives you 320 total pretzels if you have 15 per round, which means you could essentially do 2 rounds of kids. So you're technically getting 30 participants. And you could do 30 participants on the adult side, and so you're getting twice as many. The one on the left, I think, was 420. So you could do another set of adult pretzels, but you would not have enough to do another set of kid pretzels. So if you want to change the numbers here, you can make it to where there are multiple sessions, groups, however you want to say it, of the pretzel eaters. Once again, 750 is the max number of pretzels that we have.
I think the option 2 with the time start makes sense. But I would cut the kids in half to
Yeah,
like 4
3
pretzels.
to 5. 3
Yeah.
to 5 them at the max.
Right.
For the
It's just
kids.
I just can't see a kid
I agree
eating
with
that
that.
many
Definitely
5x5
cut the kid.
pretzels.
Definitely cut the kids.
Yeah.
Maybe make them adults.
I was gonna go down to 10.
Yeah, maybe.
I would say 10 for
Yeah.
adults, but that's a
Yeah,
lot. I mean,
10,
put-
10
that's
for
a
the
lot.
adults
That's
and
50.
3, like
Yeah.
3 or 4.
That-
I was like 3 or 4
Yeah,
for
how
the
about-
kids.
Yeah, 4 kids, 10 adults.
yeah.
Yeah.
I think
That's 50 inches by
reasonable.
50 inches.
Yeah,
Yeah.
that's a lot of pretzel.
That's a lot. I
Think
That's
don't
a lot
know.
of
about
pretzel.
a pretzel 50 by 50.
And they only get 1 small cup of water to go with
Holy
this. So
smokes.
Yeah.
Better make it last.
Yeah.
Yeah, because I mean,
Guys,
most
that's- I'll
kids
be
will
honest
eat
with
one
you,
of those
that's
and
a,
it'll
that's
be
a,
full.
That's a bad thing waiting to happen.
for
It's gonna
which-
be entertainment.
Joking.
Oh, you're
And
saying
a small cup of water and 8 pretzels going down a kid's throat.
we
No,
I
not
mean that's
8. We're
we
saying
could change
5
that part
or
too if
5.
you wanted
Yeah.
to.
water free?
Provide more,
I'm thinking
provide
unlimited
plenty of
water.
water. Yeah, bingo.
I say unlimited water.
That's
have the cups in front, like the
that's
Coney
worst
Island hot dog eating
marketing
contest?
press
Somebody
you
refill
can
the
get
water.
after
Get your
the
water,
event.
you
Say,
need
this is what happened at the
Unlimited
Deutschen
water.
Fest.
Yeah.
do that.
So,
So the
For-
current, well, someone will have to make a motion on this,
Yeah.
but to help kind of get us to that point, we're thinking 4 kid pretzels and 10 adult pretzels.
I think
Yeah.
that's
I
pretty
think that's
safe.
good.
Unlimited water.
Can I comment? Am I allowed to comment?
Yes.
Comment.
Please.
Should we consider a max time? Because if 10 is the number for adult and 10 is hard, we can have one determined adult sit there for 30 minutes really wanting to finish
That's
those
the
10
other
pretzels
thing I'm worried
and really
about
make
too.
that competition
Yeah.
go longer than we want it to go.
Good input.
Could we do a max, or should we drop the number to we think a reasonable person can finish it, and it's just the fastest to do it?
What if we kind of merge these two?
Yeah.
Set a timer, but then
Have
lower
it.
the amount of pretzels.
What do you think, like 15
Like-
minutes?
I think these,
What was the
Whoa.
concern with the time limit on option 1 where we decided to change it?
it's pretzel logistics.
Okay,
An
gotcha.
unknown number of pretzels possibly versus a known
A set
quantity.
number.
Yeah,
The other thing to consider is the kids pretzel eating contest. We have 30 minutes allotted total time, and for the adult is 45 minutes. So if you're thinking about maximum times and how many
Yeah.
rounds you want to
So
do,
how many rounds
That's your
are we
time slot.
expecting?
You have to fit those rounds into that full time limit.
And that doesn't count the talking in between and
Right.
the
The
prep
talking
and then
and
getting
setup
everybody
and-
situated.
Like,
and-
so, like how many rounds do you expect to have?
Yeah,
Are
if
we,
you
we
do-
gonna determine how many rounds, and then if you don't sign up for the contest in time, you just can't do it?
So option one, to my best understanding, was based on just one round
Yeah.
of each. Once again, that gets us to 420 pretzels. So I'm thinking there must have been another adult pretzel session in there, but I'm not sure.
Let me look.
We gave away a lot.
We gave away a lot.
I think that's also kind of the
Oh,
answer
you talking about the pretzels
to
from last year?
Last
do
year,
a time.
yeah.
Oh, I was giving them away last
Yeah,
year.
we got away a lot.
Chris gave me the box. She's like, go give these away. Pretzels? There's a lot of pretzels left
Yeah.
over. Yeah.
And that's
Blake.
part of it. That's what we wanted to talk about. And we will do whatever y'all want to do on this, but in thinking about just ending up giving pretzels away, if we wanted to change that, we could.
30
I
minutes
can't
is
look, my
too
page
long.
are long.
Isn't it like when they do the national hot dog eating contest, isn't that like 10 minutes?
I think it's like
I-
5.
Fine, and they're stuffing salads could go on
They're
for
scary.
30
looking at
minutes, or
them.
much less 45. I mean,
Yeah,
I'm
10
thinking like
minutes on
15,
on an eating contest is a
15,
long
20
time.
It's a long
tops.
time.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's
I-
so
Yeah.
if we do,
I think you do.
You
I
could
mean, you could
probably
do.
combine
Say
them.
you did 5,
Right.
and they still had theirs left. You're more than welcome to take said pretzels and just
Yeah.
take them with you. But the contest part of it is over.
Yeah.
right. So yes,
Just say again, argument's sake. Say you did 5 minutes for the actual contest. You have 5 minutes of setup and rules. That gives you about 10. With the kids one, you could do 2. I would say comfortably.
maybe do
Possibly
3 adults.
3. If you're thinking 10 minutes for the whole
Mhm.
start to finish, and then
Yep.
start to, so.
So the tricky part is this is a discuss and consider. So we will need a motion from someone on what they would like to see.
Well,
A lot of moving parts to this one.
Yeah.
10 minutes, you think is a good time cutoff?
Yeah,
I don't
so
think I want to sit there and see anybody try to stuff
So,
it down for
but
30 minutes.
so, okay,
It
so
gets
we're
awkward
doing
at
a
some
timer.
point.
If anybody is the first one finished with all their pretzels sometime before the 10-minute
No, they-
limit,
they win.
then
Then
they
we
win.
cross your-
yeah, that ends it.
But if nobody is finished by the 10-minute
Then-
timer, then
Who ate the
everybody
most?
stops eating and we see.
And
who
then
ate
we
the
would
most.
count and see,
Okay.
okay, how many do you have left?
Okay.
Yeah.
All right.
Whatever you have left, and then
Okay, so
the difference.
10
So
minutes sounds
is
reasonable.
that gonna be rounds then? Is that gonna,
How many
Still-
whole pretzels you have left, not partial.
so 10, 20?
Could
so-
come down to partials.
This is
Yeah, that's the
taking
other
on
thing to
life of
consider
its
is
own.
if let's say we have 3 heats. Well, now you're gonna get a winner in each heat. Is there a
No, I
final?
think-
A
Oh,
final match
is
between
there-
the 3.
No, I
Is
think
there a
because
championship
you
round?
don't have
Cooked
to,
up
you don't have to
Coordinate.
on the timer one, because there's still gonna be somebody that's
Fastest
either
between
the
all 3 heats.
fastest
Yeah.
or has the least amount of
Sure.
pretzels left at the end of 10 minutes. So you
Do we-
wouldn't have to do a
Yeah,
playoff.
doing who does it quickest does
Yeah.
allow you to have, you won't find out the winner until the very end.
Right.
But it does allow you that option.
Do we feel 10 minutes is reasonable for?
I feel like
Do we-
10 minutes is good.
Does anybody want to see anybody try to eat pretzels for longer than 10 minutes? Okay.
No, I'll speak for him.
So,
I was
then
working.
we have 30 minutes for the kids, that means maximum 2 kid rounds.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So if
And
you're gonna
then
do the contest itself for
maximum
10,
3 kids.
5 of setup and rules, so that's max perfect, almost like a pretty round 2,
So
and
2
then the
kid
adults you have
rounds and
45
3 kid
minutes,
rounds.
so you have an extra
3
15.
adult rounds.
So you could
probably
do
get 3.
you could
for
do
the
3?
adults. Yeah.
Okay, so I make a motion to have the pretzel eating contest 10-minute rounds.
Well, are you gonna say option 2?
Option 2
With the
with 4 pretzels per kid, 10 pretzels per adult, 10-minute rounds, 2 rounds for kids, and 3 rounds for adults.
With unlimited water.
What, and what time,
With unlimited water.
and what time is is that Saturday night at 7 o'clock?
For the adult one, yes.
Okay.
And
when
Kids is 1:30 to 2 Saturday.
Okay.
Did I miss anything?
Okay, I
That was-
second that. I think you covered everything.
Yep, we have a
I'll second
motion, we have a second.
All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
All right, so motion carries.
This is not the correct one.
Yay.
Great job. Also, I do highly recommend if you get a chance to do your own research. It is highly recommend.
5B, discuss and consider Deutschen Pfest steering committee after action review meeting date.
Okay, let's get this set and then we can get everybody out of here. So, you don't necessarily have to have an exact date in mind if you need to look at your calendars. You could make a motion of us taking your consideration on a date. Or if there's a date that works for all of you right now, you can go ahead and set that date.
Like, so, I mean, I think the date should be, it should allow enough time after the festival to kind of unwind and
Get enough
get your
feedback.
thought process, you know, get feedback, but not so far after the festival that you start forgetting things. So honestly, I think that would probably be best like the, you know, the week of October 30th or the week of November 6th.
After daylight savings time.
I'm thinking wait at least till,
Well, that first week in November,
Yeah, that first week or second week, then you get kind of the holidays anyway, so
but I mean,
like the first or second week in November might, like the only.
yeah.
Yeah, because the Monday the 30th and Tuesday the 31st of October, obviously Halloween activities are
Yeah.
gonna be going on.
Yeah, so first or second week of November.
So is there a date that works for everyone the week of November 6th through the 10th?
How about November 6th? That Monday night, daylight savings time will take place on Sunday.
That's probably not a good night
I would
for me,
I would-
that Monday.
not want to do Monday,
Okay.
just because Mondays are tough with kids.
Tuesday's an election day.
What about Wednesday the 8th?
I can do Wednesday, I cannot do Thursday though.
I can do Wednesday. as of
Wednesday the
right
8th
now.
is good with me.
I can do Wednesday.
My choir teacher hates y'all, I'm just saying. I've missed every rehearsal, it's on Wednesday nights, but it's okay.
There is the option to, it is the after action meeting. So if you were not able to make it for whatever reason, I mean, life happens, you could obviously also send us the information that you would like included in that after action. So I say that both as scheduling, but also if anything happens and you're like, I really want my feedback to get in, but I'm at home sick, send it over to us. So
I'm good with November 8th.
And then
November
what time? Same as this.
Communications has library board November 8th,
Oh,
so,
no.
Aw.
it won't be reported unless you guys do it at the Justice Center or something.
that's doable.
yeah, I would ask the committee whatever motion you make to make it pending Justice Center availability.
Time would be 6:30.
I think I'm good with the Wednesday the 8th.
Wednesday the 8th? Is there anybody that is passionate about a certain time? Start time?
Not at all.
6:30 is fine with me, that's the time we've been meeting.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I make a motion that we have an after-action meeting on November 8th at 6:30, pending availability of the Justice Center.
Second.
We have a motion, we have a second.
All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
All right, motion carries. All right, do I have a motion to adjourn?
Motion to adjourn.
I second it.
All right, all in favor, say aye.
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 All right, motion carries, we are adjourned.